A short, sterile chime at 9:02 p.m, the kind of notification tone I never forget. I was sitting at my desk, the room dark except for the faint glow of the monitor. The subject line read, "Your position has been eliminated. Severance terminated." For a long moment I didn't move. The words just sat there like a scalpel waiting to cut. Then, almost without thinking, I typed one word back. "Thanks." I hit send, and that was it. No rage, no panic, just silence. A clean surgical quiet. I poured myself a drink, the glass catching the reflection of the email on the screen. They thought they'd just erased me. One digital stroke, one HR signature. But what they didn't know was that I'd written the language they were using, literally. 2 years earlier, the company had been nothing more than an idea. A handful of dreamers in a borrowed office fueled by caffeine and ambition. Evan, the CEO, was electric, the kind of man who could sell you the illusion of destiny. He told me, "Grace, you're the backbone of this place. I can't do this without you." And I believed him. We built everything together. Late nights drafting policies, shaping ethics, writing the code of fairness that would define the company. He wanted transparency. I wrote it into the handbook. He wanted protection for his team. I built it into the contracts, including mine. He once looked at me, glass of whiskey in hand, and said, "If anything ever happens, you'll be protected. You've earned that." Back then, I thought loyalty meant something. That was before Melissa arrived. She came in with that confident smile people wear when they've already chosen their place in the hierarchy. Evan introduced her like she was the final piece of the puzzle. "This is Melissa, our new HR director." At first, I welcomed her. HR was my domain once, and I appreciated competence. But there was something about her presence. Smooth, polished, practiced. The first time she called me honey, it was in an email. She claimed it was a typo. The second time, it wasn't. Something in the air shifted after that. Whispers followed me down hallways. Meetings were rescheduled without notice. Projects I'd led for months quietly reassigned. Then came the temporary access issue. My logins to the financial systems suddenly stopped working. Routine maintenance, they said. I knew better. And one afternoon, while waiting for the printer to warm up, I saw it. A folder someone forgot to collect. Strategic Reorganization Plan. Their signatures, side by side, on the final page. My title was marked redundant. Melissa's, expanded. Her new role, Chief Operations Officer. That was the day I stopped being surprised. But I didn't confront them, not yet. Revenge, if it's to be satisfying, must be deliberate. So I did what I do best. I documented every unauthorized late-night approval Melissa made, every expense Evan covered off record, every clause, every email, every small favor asked of me, all archived, encrypted, backed up. When Melissa requested policy updates, I volunteered to help. She seemed relieved, almost smug. I added a single line buried deep within the executive termination clause. In the event of position elimination without prior written cause, all severance terms revert to the most recent signed agreement. Any unilateral cancellation without appropriate notice constitutes breach subject to legal remedy. It was elegant, airtight, the kind of clause people skim without understanding. Evan signed it. Melissa co-signed. And just like that, the blueprint for their downfall was inked into company law. When her email arrived that night, "Your position has been eliminated," I didn't reply with outrage. I simply let her words sit in the trap I'd built. By morning, I was ready. I forwarded her message to the company's legal counsel, attaching one polite sentence. "Please review Section 9, Subsection B of the Executive Employment Agreement effective immediately." Then I waited. At 10:17 a.m. the board convened. I wasn't invited, of course, but half the team texted me play-by-play updates from inside. The company lawyer, a quiet man with a voice like gravel, stood with papers in hand. He read the clause aloud, slowly, word by word. Each syllable fell like a hammer. When he finished, the room froze. Evan's face drained of colour. Melissa blinked too quickly, pretending to read along. Then came the word breach. Evan's hand slipped. His coffee spilled across the boardroom table, bleeding through the printed agenda. No one moved to help him. By noon, the company wired my severance, tripled per breach penalty. By 2, Evan and Melissa's email accounts were locked. By evening, the board announced an internal audit. On Friday, Melissa's badge stopped working. By Monday, Evan resigned for personal reasons. It was almost poetic, watching the empire we built crumble from the inside out, not through shouting or scandal, but through paperwork. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't make threats. I just documented. They built their own downfall. I merely wrote the manual. People ask me sometimes if I regret not confronting them earlier. I don't. Anger burns fast. Precision lasts longer. When I see their names now, stripped of titles, their LinkedIn bios rewritten in vague half-truths, I don't feel rage, just clarity. They taught me the difference between trust and evidence, between loyalty and leverage. I used to think loyalty made you safe. Now I know, it just makes you predictable. That night, after the wire hit my account, I poured another drink. The amber light caught the glass, and for the first time in months, I smiled. The irony tasted better than the whiskey. They thought they ended me with a termination email, but what they really sent was their own exit notice. Too late now. I kept that email. Framed it, actually. It hangs above my desk. A reminder that silence isn't surrender. Sometimes it's strategy. Every now and then when I get a new notification sound, that same cold chime, I still feel that flicker of memory. But this time, I smile before opening it. Because I know how to read between the lines now. I know how to write them too. Revenge doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just waits, in the fine print.